Hi there and welcome to UK Property Talk. Today I want to tell you that house prices in the UK have fallen for the first time in over a year, according to Halifax's report. This is Halifax, one of the biggest lenders in the country, who report on their data just like the Nationwide do, and their data is showing a slight dip. Now it is a slight dip, it's only down by 0.1%, but it is significant that prices are starting to slow. And yes, last week I reported that transactions were slowing down. Transactions means the number of sales, and also agents are reporting that the number of inquiries, that the number of offers over asking prices are also slowing down. Now this might not be huge, but we've seen prices going up and up and up month on month for quite a while now, and now we could be seeing that the effects of the higher interest rates from the Bank of England, they've increased rates now for the sixth time to 1.75, the cost of living crisis, and I think general overall confidence. People have to feel confident in the market. They have to feel confident that things are going well, their job is going well, and that things life in the garden is rosy before they commit to doing things like buying a property or buying an investment property. So that's all things I want to talk about today. Now, the average property now in the UK is worth 293,000. The strongest growth was in Wales again, up 14.7% on the year, but this is a yearly figure. And also the UK economy, it was reported today, shrunk slightly in the second quarter, so we could be heading into a recession. I think we definitely are heading into recession. So the average price of houses dipped in July for the first time in a year. This is according to Halifax, part of the Lloyds banking group. The annual rate of growth eased to 11.8%. That's down from 12.5% previously. So we are seeing a bit of a slowdown. And as I said, according to HMRC data, they showed that sales were down 55% on 2021. Now that's a slight distorted figure because in that time we had the stamp duty panic, that there was this stamp duty holiday brought in by Rishi Sunak, who I met yesterday actually. I met him at a function, got a selfie with him. I didn't get much chance to talk to him, but he outlined his plans for what he would do if he became Prime Minister. And as you might know, there's a big tussle at the moment. There's two candidates, Liz Truss or Rishi Sunak, the former Chancellor, and both are vying to become the party leader, and ultimately then that will mean they will become Prime Minister, replacing Boris Johnson, who was basically kicked out by his own MPs. So I met him yesterday. He was a very good speaker. He obviously knows his stuff. He's an outstanding guy. Went to Winchester School, which is one of the top, we call them public schools in the UK, but they're actually private schools, one of the top schools on a level with Eton and Harrow and that sort of thing. So he went to a top school. Even though his family were not super rich, they had a business, and I believe his mother or father was a doctor, and one of them was a pharmacist. So he came from a good middle class family, refugees I think from East Africa originally. So he's done very well for himself, got a job with Goldman Sachs, which is not that easy. I believe they have like 10 interviews before you can get in. So he is an achiever and an outstanding guy. Whether he's the right person to lead the country, we shall have to find out. Liz Truss at the moment is favourite for winning that battle. And as I said, met him yesterday. He actually applied to be an MP in our area. We didn't choose him 5 or 6 years ago. So that was strange, but we chose another candidate because Rishi, frankly, didn't come across that well at the time. He was new to it. It was maybe one of his early pitches to people, but he's obviously done very well for himself since then. So the Bank of England has raised rates to 1.75. That's obviously hitting the market. I've just had a deal fall through myself because the guy's mortgage lenders are just taking forever, and now they want him to wait for a while. It's very strange because up until now, you could get mortgages for buy-to-lets, which he's getting, fairly easily. They're just bang, bang, bang coming through. Now he's been trying to get this mortgage for 5-6 weeks, and now they've told him no, he's got to wait 3 to 6 months. You know, this is the way things are going. Things, as I said, things are getting tighter. And on a previous buyer, they downvalued the property. So, you know, these are all affecting the market, and you know, it means that either sales fall through, or they have to sort of reduce their asking price. But Halifax, just going back to the Halifax report, they said that larger properties are outpacing the lower end of the market. So detached properties jumped 15%. I think we had similar figures from the Nationwide on this, and London has recorded a slower growth, just 7.9%, but it is an increase. Actually, it's the largest increase in 5 years. So London seems to be picking up after dropping significantly as you had this mass rush out of the city. I think London will always recover anyway. It's still a good place to invest. Okay, you're not getting the best yield on your money as a buy-to-let investor, but we know that London will always remain the capital city, a big city, a place where international investors want to come and put their money. It's not a place where they're going to hold the Eurovision Song Contest because you know, the woke people at the BBC don't want London, so they've shortlisted Birmingham and Glasgow and Liverpool and Manchester, and you know, they're all fine cities, but you know, London is really the only big city that I think is big enough to host a major event like that, with in terms of, you know, the availability of hotel rooms, venues. I mean, you've got iconic venues like, you know, the O2 and the Albert Hall and Wembley. You know, you've got so many different choices in London, and you've got the accommodation and the facilities, the transport links, and facilities for people to do other things when they are here. So I'm a Londoner, so I'm obviously promoting London, but the BBC, they go for this regional approach. You know, you can't have everything in the capital, so let's spread everything to Glasgow and that sort of thing. It's to me, London is the most suitable place for an international event like the Eurovision Song Contest. I don't even watch the event, so why am I even talking about it? But London will always be a great city in my opinion. Now I wanted to read this out to you. This is the Halifax's managing director, Russell Gailey, and this is what he said. Now, these people are notorious for never talking down the market. They always talk it up, you know, and what he's said is, it's just, well, I'll read it out to you. He said, looking ahead, house prices are likely to come under more pressure, that means go down in English, as the market tailwinds fade further and the headwinds of rising interest rates and increased living costs take a firmer hold. What a load of crap. I'm sorry. It's just gobbledygook, isn't it? I mean, what is he really saying? He's just saying that, yeah, prices are likely to come under more pressure, go down, and the market tailwind, which means the winds that push the market up. Like if a plane is flying and it's got tailwinds, it will go faster. So the tailwinds, I've lost it now. The tailwinds are fading or slowing down, which means there's less tailwinds to move the market forward, and the headwinds, which obviously slow a plane down or a ship down, of rising interest rates and increased living costs take a firmer hold. So the tailwinds against market growth will slow the market down. In other words, prices are going to go down. I don't know why they just don't say that, but they don't like to say that because they are a major lender, and it's in their interest to keep things moving and talk the market up. But sales expectations for the 12 months have fallen 36% in July, down from 21%, according to the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors. They're a bit more truthful here. And this was before the Bank of England increased rates last week. And they're saying that Britain's housing market, like and many other rich nations, boomed during the pandemic, but you know, people sought more space, etc. We know that, but things are changing, and they're saying contributing factors are higher interest rates and you know, of course, the cost of living crisis. Now we've got a cost of living crisis here, which is affecting people. You know, fuel prices are, as I said in my very last video, gas and electricity bills could go up to £4,000 to £5,000 a year next year for people. So things are in a crisis, and businesses are finding it tough. The UK economy has shrunk in the last quarter, so we know this. But in many parts of the world, people are starving. I think the UN reported that 500 million people could starve to death in the next year. This is, much more serious for people in the third world. And you look at Sri Lanka; it's a failed nation. Things are, this was the nation that was going to be the boom, jewel in the crown, and that sort of thing a couple of years ago. Now they haven't got enough food to eat. They haven't got enough fuel. They haven't got enough currency reserves to buy fuel, and they're tied in very heavily with China. But getting back to property, half of the agents reported that the average selling price is no longer exceeding the asking price. So people are not paying more than the asking price. This is for properties up to £500,000, and vendors with property at over £1 million are having to reduce the asking price. Now, a year or so ago, asking prices were just going up and up and up, and people were advertising properties say we want in excess of the asking price. And if you offered the asking price, which would normally be accepted, they said no, we want more than the asking price. So they asked for a price, and then they said no, we don't want that price, we want more. I don't know why they didn't ask for more in the first place, but that's what was happening, and people were going on a waiting list. But now properties are failing to reach the asking price, and in some cases asking prices are coming down. I've certainly seen this in the London flat market, definitely, but it's happening now to all sorts of properties. Now, incidentally, talking about prices, Open House South Herts, my own estate agency, we have properties up in the northeast where you can improve the yield on your money, yields of 10 to 15%. We've got properties advertised from £20,000 upwards, and certainly houses from £30,000 upwards. So check out that Facebook page. Now, as I said in the headline, the UK economy has shrunk in the second quarter by a small amount, 0.1%, but we're not officially in recession according to the Office of National Statistics, because we had slight growth in the first quarter, unlike America, which has had 2 consecutive negative growth quarters. But most people are feeling the pinch. We feel like we're in a recession. Businesses are suffering, and it's things like government spending on the health and health things to track and trace that were keeping the economy going. Well, that's not real growth, is it? It's just government spending. What we need is manufacturing output to keep the economy growing. But services have fallen, and in, I think it was June or July, all sectors fell, including construction, which is again back to property. Now, although interest rates have risen, as I said in the last video, banks are not passing this on to their saver customers, which is a scandal in itself. They're leaving savers on rates of as low as 0.1% and an average rate of 0.3%, which means that they're struggling with the cost of living. Some of these people are retired, they're relying on their savings to live on, and something's got to be done. I did put up a video as to what you can do about improving your rates of return on savings, like moving your money to another bank, going to your bank and talking to them, and maybe moving accounts, or going into longer fixed terms with your savings. But you can also get much better returns on property. As I said, we're advertising property at 10 to 15% yield. Now, I know the property is not for everybody, but I put a video up, 6 tips to get onto the property ladder. Not everyone wants to be a landlord, of course, but there are ways of doing this which are hands-off. But if you want to find out more, if you are one of those people who want to find out more, I'll put a link up to some free training next week, Beginners Property Secrets. I think it's on Wednesday evening. Do have a look at that. It's absolutely free. I'm not even running the training, and many people have suggested that I should run my own property training rather than sort of recommending property training for friends. So maybe I will do that. What do you think? Do so, let me know in the comments, please. In the meantime, I'm just sending people to other property training, which is free virtual training online, and you can find out how to get started in property and learn from the experts that have made, frankly, millions in property over the years. Now, finally, thank you for liking and sharing my videos. I appreciate that. But also thank you for subscribing On YouTube now, I've doubled my subscribers in the last few months. I'm over 2,000 subscribers now. So thank you for your support. Thank you for the thumbs up and the likes and everything, including, if I share this to Facebook. Thanks for all those likes and comments and support. I do appreciate that. So do keep those coming in. So in the meantime, have a great weekend, have a great week ahead, and I will speak to you again with updates from Charles Kelly Money Tips podcast, which you can find on video, iTunes, and lots of other places. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.